While this film really doesn't fall into the realm of public domain horror, The Ugly Stepsister would be a fine example of a way of taking a well-known character and giving it a horror slant. Let's talk about the new Norwegian horror that recently premiered on Shudder called The Ugly Stepsister. The Ugly Stepsister, aka Den STESOSTEREN, is new streaming on Shudder from IFC Films. It's directed and written by Emilie Blichfeldt. I understand that Cinderella was first a folktale first conceived in Greece from ages ago, but most likely you know the story because it was made into a Disney movie in 1950. And since horror-themed remakes are all the rage, one might think that a film like The Ugly Stepsister would be some kind of rushed cash grab akin to those Winnie the Pooh and Steamboat Willie films. But it turns out that The Ugly Stepsister is actually an original, dark twist on a classic fairy tale. Rebecca, played by Anne Dahl Torp, is a gold-digging widower who catches the eye of a seemingly wealthy lord. With her two daughters, Elvira, played by Leah Myron, and Alma, played by Flo Fagerli, Rebecca quickly marries the Lord and moves into the castle with the Lord's daughter, Agnes, played by Thea Sophie Loch Ness. But soon Rebecca finds out that the Lord is broke, and soon after the Lord dies, leaving her with all of his debt. With Prince Julian, played by Isaac Kalmroth, seeking to wed someone soon, Rebecca goes about making her daughter Elvira beautiful enough for him to marry by any means necessary. While the fairy tale of Cinderella was a tale of inner beauty despite one's station in life, The Ugly Stepsister tells the same type of Cinderella tale from a different perspective, that of Elvira's. By shifting the perspective, we see Elvira in a newer, more positive light, at least at first. So when she arrives at the castle, it's Agnes who makes Elvira feel unwelcome and inferior. And therefore, we feel for Elvira, whereas in the original fairy tale, she is simply a despicable character in the way of Cinderella's aspirations to marry the prince. Elvira plays the same role, but by taking the few steps back from the story and starting a bit further back in time, it shifts the way you see things. That's not to say Elvira turns out to be a likable character. Once the process of her beautification begins, we're shown a much more cruel and selfish side to Elvira. But the thing is, you can't really feel for Agnes in this story either because of the way she treated Elvira at the beginning of the film. This makes for a conundrum as there turns out to be no likable characters to be found in The Ugly Stepsister. I'm sure in an Americanized version of this story, Agnes would have been made much more pure, but this Norwegian film makes things more complicated than that, giving a rather critical slant towards both of the women who are basically seeking to marry the prince for his money and power. This shift proves to make the film a battle between two women, and one of them, Elvira, will stop at nothing, even utterly destroying her own body in the process to get what she wants. In comes the body horror, and man is this film filled to the gullet with it. While some of the concepts may have been addressed before in terms of the barbaric ancient medicines used in the past to strive for ultimate beauty, never has it been presented in a more disgusting, decadent, and despicable way. By the final reel, the lengths Elvira goes to get her man is absolutely unimaginable. There's one sequence towards the end where Elvira attempts to undo what has been done to her that you simply can't unsee after watching. It's heinous and nauseating and tragic all at once. It's the type of sequence that'll make you leap from your chair and walk it off after seeing it. No details, I don't want to spoil it, but it is that bad, which for me, and my fellow gorehounds out there, I know who you are, is so good. Leah Myron does a fantastic job of playing Elvira. She presents as sympathetic and underdog when we first meet her, but she shifts from unlikely hero to monster with ease. It's a physically demanding performance, one that requires a lot of spunk and selflessness to get right. It's amazing seeing this transformation from maiden to monster, and you're going to wonder if it really is the same actress after all of these changes are made to her. It makes me wonder what writer-director Emilie Blichfeldt was trying to say with The Ugly Stepsister. It's not completely clear. I believe it may be a moral story about aspiring towards the wrong kind of goals, or maybe it's about the least of two evils coming out on top, Or most likely it's just a clever and painfully visceral way of retelling an age-old story in the freshest of takes. The ugly stepsister is often excessively decadent, disgusting, and aggressively so. The level of extravagance is bent and twisted to show the uglier side of this lavish and proper life. Seeing the physical training and medical torture Elvira goes through to simply gain power and fortune truly highlights how some people can be overcome with such temptations. Seeing Rebecca toss all concern for her well-being of her daughter for riches is not unlike the beauty pageant moms or the reality star wannabes we see in today's culture. There's an ugliness to this movie that is overwhelming at times, from the heinous body horror to simply the way people treat one another. It's quite the comment on how little some can care about others when fame and fortune is on the line. In the end, The Ugly Stepsister is a grotesque mirror held up to the human condition, lampooning our obsession with fame and fortune in the most surreal and disgusting of ways. There are scenes of body horror that are surely going to nauseate, but the true horror in The Ugly Stepsister lie in the multiple characters who think so much about themselves that it rots them from the inside. This is a fantastic movie that's going to leave its mark, and I recommend it wholeheartedly, but it's not for the squeamish. Are you guys going to take a chance with The Ugly Stepsister? And what do you feel about foreign horror? Are you one of the ones that don't like to read their movies? Some of the best horror out there comes from outside our borders. Let me know down in the comments. Please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're doomed. Oh, you're doomed. You're doomed. Live the life that you are meant to be. To live inside